I am more of a linguist than a polyglot, and I think that this is sometimes confusing to people, especially when I present in the public or in a public place like YouTube, where there's this expectation that linguist really means polyglot, right? That when I say that I've studied, as I have, scores of languages, that I should be able to have conversations in scores of languages. It's really not the case. I can have conversations in some that I have to get dedicated special time to. Um, I can fluently read and write in some that I have dedicated special time to, but not every language that I've ever studied can I, communicate in. I like to say that linguists are mechanics, polyglots are drivers, right? Or when you speak a language, you drive it. When you know it as a linguist, you know it like a mechanic knows an engine. So I have often, however, tried to communicate in languages that I've studied one way or another, and so I've collected, especially on a Kindle, probably dozens of books in series like Colloquial Blank or Complete Blank, or the complete books used to be called Teach Yourself Blank. And not one of them has ever impressed me more than Complete Swedish by Vera Krogan and Evu Holmqvist. The best thing about this one is that, in addition to the sort of basic communicative phrases that you get from all the books in these series, this book anticipates that readers might really be curious about the underlying system. Now, I learned the modern Scandinavian languages, Swedish, Norwegian, Danish. I never really had teachers in any of these. What I basically did was, I knew Old Norse and pretty much learned to derive Old Norse, these from Old Norse. Um, and the complete Swedish title kind of assumes that, you may not have a background in Old Norse, but you may want to know what's going on beyond, like, oh, well, some words have this kind of plural and some words have that kind of plural. It's particularly good about systematically analyzing pronunciation, which, even in a language that's written fairly phonetically like Swedish, can pose some challenges to people. Of course, Swedish has, like Norwegian, the question of intonation, which is very different from many other languages, and this book has the best, most concise presentation of that I've ever seen. And gets into the nitty gritty of some questions like, well, what word do I use to translate before? Right? I mean, that's a somewhat complicated question in Swedish versus, in English we use before, that one word, in a lot of different ways. There's several different words that can translate that in Swedish, and this book does a great, great job presenting that kind of complication very clearly.